All right, Doc.
All right, welcome. Sports Injury Central, Pro Football Doc, morning after podcast, Monday morning. 2 NFL games tonight, Houston, Tampa. Sports Injury Central has a significant play there. Go check it out. Been very hot there at Sick Picks.
Sixcore.com, Sick Picks, yes.
And Raiders hosting the Chargers. But lots to talk about today. Let's go over, as people join us a little bit here, any of the new things that are out there. And then we will talk and devote the majority of this podcast to Joe Burrow. We'll call it a Joey B podcast and all the different things.
Right before we jump into like stuff like Burrow, Doc, talk to me real quick on your thoughts on Brock Bowers for the Monday night football game.
Good. Yeah. Brock Bowers, look, Schefter just said they're expecting him to play, but it's not a lock or guarantee yet. Look, could he play? Yes, he could. Is he going to be 100%? No. To me, I get it. If he plays, it might be Brock Bowers always wanting to play and Pete Carroll, historically, people know this, not liking Jim Harbaugh. Back to Stanford USC days, Pete Carroll didn't like Jim Harbaugh.
So he wants the full arsenal against them.
Then there's the NFC West days, Seattle and San Francisco. Now it's the AFC West days. Look, it is what it is. Pete Carroll's usually optimistic. He said Brock Bowers is fine. He could have gone back into the game, but why did the medical staff keep him out of week 1? Because it's a low-grade PCL. They're trying not to make it worse. You see the big brace he has on for the one limited practice that he got. I think from a medical perspective, he doesn't play. If this were a Super Bowl or a playoff game, of course he plays. But to me, it's not. Okay? So I think he doesn't play or he's limited in his play. Look, we actually, another Sick Picks, there is a big prop play on that game. And some of the numbers are out related to Brock Bowers and others. Hint, hint. But anyways, that's my thought. Medically, I think it's clear he's not 100%, and I would wait. Now, he's not an IR candidate, but he's, 2 weeks. It's about the number or the time for Brock Bowers. That's the big news for today. 2
defensive injuries I have updates on before we go into Burrow. Jaylon Johnson and Highsmith, Alex Highsmith, Steelers linebacker. Jaylon Johnson, top cornerback for the Bears, groin injury, re-aggravation. They said indefinitely he's out. The team's looking to, full extent evaluate, but that's kind of what you hinted at on Sunday, that once re-aggravation, it's going to be a longer stay.
Same for TJ Edwards, hamstring.
Right.
Linebacker. Re-aggravation hamstring, fool me once, fool me twice kind of thing. And re-aggravation, not good. Both Jaylon Johnson and TJ Edwards are likely to go on 4-week IR and see what happens. That's the hazard of coming back a week earlier when you're not 100%. But then again, in all fairness, if everyone waited till you were 100%, you'd have a lot of guys lingering that could have played and helped your team. So it's a very delicate balance, not a criticism of the Bears, but expect that. And then
there's good news on Highsmith. Actually, they said he likely avoids IR placement that we maybe recently leaned to. It might be a couple weeks. They said not as serious as he believes, but not 4 games.
All we can say is high ankle.
Right.
We can't tell you the seriousness of it. Reporters had him at 6-8 weeks, and then I saw rap sheets say closer to 6, and now they're saying not IR.
Right.
It's a
quick climb to right.
What that means is this: if there is a chance that Alex Highsmith can play in the 4th week, which would be week 6, we want to keep that hope alive because he's that important to us, and especially nowadays with the temporary practice squad call-ups. You have a little more roster flexibility in case. So that doesn't mean he's playing week 6, but if he has a chance, that's why they're keeping him off of IR.
I know I'm teasing everybody, but for Burrow, one last one, Doc. Connor Beebe, starting center for the Cowboys. That they said high ankle. They said 6 to 8 weeks for that. No, steady descent on weeks for that. That's 6 to 8. They're saying so far for the high ankle for the Cowboys center, Connor Beebe.
Yep. And if there's any other coaches updates, we'll go over them. Doug or Taylor, you guys jump in.
And Justin Fields too, real quick, they said he's still in concussion protocol coming out of Sunday, so we'll wait for more updates too on that. What changed?
Of course he's still in concussion protocol. You can't, that doesn't mean he still has a concussion and symptoms.
Right.
If he still has concussion symptoms this morning, he's out next week for sure. You can't get out of the concussion protocol this quickly. Realistically, it's late week at earliest. We can, he's, the 5 steps. And
they're already hinting at Tyrod Taylor too already too. So it's just
what did we say yesterday?
Yeah. Veteran. It's hard to, all the practice
Justin
reps.
Fields new to the team, and Tyrod Taylor
veteran presence in general. Yes. Yeah.
It might be this. Look, if it's this and this in terms of the starter versus the backup, then they're going to hold off and play the starter.
Justin Fields, Trubisky would be a little different, I guess, right?
I'm not trying to call out anybody, but
yes,
but it's just there's a
different level, different difference of talent player. Yeah,
different level. If it's like this, they're gonna wait it out, kind of thing. Like if it's Aaron Rodgers and a rookie, they're gonna wait out Aaron Rodgers and try and play him after his concussion, including even though he's new to the team. They give him more credit as a vet, but like a Matthew Stafford, if he were in the concussion protocol, you'd play him if he didn't practice all week, right?
Yep.
But you're not playing because who's your backup, right? Same with Patrick Mahomes. No offense, Justin Fields is not that. So that's where maybe they just say, let's put all our eggs in Tyrod Taylor. We know he's going to play, and let's give him all the work and design all the plays and sail down that road, and we can make a decision on the back end later, but this is our intention now.
For now, yeah. Real quick, now we go to Burrow. They're already talking about shopping and looking for quarterback depth behind Jake Browning. Tell me your thoughts on the whole Joe Burrow situation.
Of course they're going to shop for quarterback depth. They only have 2 on the active roster, right? And then maybe I'm sure there's a practice squad guy.
Of course, yes.
Somewhere at least. Yeah, because now it's Jake Browning, and who's behind Jake Browning? I forget. You'll tell me.
We'll look through, yeah.
But any case, that doesn't surprise me.
Brett Ripien.
Okay, and every team needs 3, right? Just to get through practice, you need 3. So that's why they're going to be shopping. That's not saying they're replacing Jake Browning,
right?
Okay, Jake Browning is the starter. So let's talk about it from the war room right here, where we're in again today. Let's do a little quick where we were right and where we were wrong. Where I was wrong, where we were wrong is initially I was looking at Joe Burrow saying, gosh, I don't fully see it. The defender lands on his right foot and ankle. It's not a clear view. What other video do you have? Now, the excuse, not an excuse. I already said where we were wrong. There were 9 games going on in the room, and we're trying to do all this other stuff. But then later on, I got clued into, wait a minute, look at the end of the video. And we've posted it on Twitter, looking at Joe Burrow's left foot. And that's when we said, turf toe. And I think we're among the first to say, look, turf toe, and here's why. And we shot the video that's got approaching 1 million views or something, circling in when the injury happened, turf toe. Now, we couldn't tell severity, and I gave a range. And we did say, MRI means he's out. I mean, okay, Bengals have an MRI in-house in the stadium's the only one. We already covered that. But who cares? He's not coming back in. If you're getting an MRI, you can make that decision ahead of time. So he was out of the game, and he was ruled out. We kind of felt like it wasn't going to be mild or grade 1, which would be under IR. We kind of always felt it was at least grade 2 or moderate, which is I was saying, if I were a Bengals fan, I'd take 4 weeks IR, even 6 weeks, and get him back. The worst case, we always said, was surgery with a plantar plate rupture, tear. And I did see some local reporters say after the game, hey, breaking news, turf toe, he tore ligaments. Yeah, that's what a turf toe is. We'll talk about
the definition is a breaking news, yes.
But how severely the ligaments are torn is the issue.
Well, Doc, you saw the big thing.
Grade 3 is severe, which means surgery.
People, like, remember we saw the big thing. Turf toe doesn't sound severe, does it? I think that's the big thing too, Doc. Just tell me, like you said, it's a ligament, it's a big thing, right? It's not just turf toe.
High ankle didn't sound severe until we all learned what high ankle
really was. Yes,
right.
Multiple weeks.
Right.
This,
I mean, 10 years ago it was ankle sprains and ankle sprain.
You're like, why are you back out there?
Now, even every reporter says high or low, or even coaches.
Yep.
And does a high sound worse than a low? We all know it is now, but
We didn't
turf
know.
toe. Turf toe is a big deal, and there are different levels of turf toe. This is not Brock Purdy turf toe.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. There's different levels. This is a grade 3 ligament torn, plantar plate torn, sesamoid bones retracted. I won't get into all the details. But here is the deal. It is severe and significant. Look, I think I can say this. I don't think he's anything. Last night, I got literally 17 texts from Phillip Rivers.
Well, so yeah, tell him.
What's he got? Yeah. Well, I had turf toe in 2020. It hurt like a, he didn't swear, but
he hurt
a lot.
Yeah. he wanted to swear.
That was a struggle to get through that season.
Right.
And I said, true. I said, yours isn't as bad as Joe Burrow's. That's why he needs surgery. I said, but Phillip, yours is worse than Joe Burrow's because it was on your right foot, your push-off foot. And, drops hurt, this, that, the other. It's his left foot. That's the only saving grace for Joe Burrow.
Okay.
But still, you have to do drop backs and be mobile and escape pressure. Bottom line is it hurts a lot, and it's just a turf toe. But what it is greater than 50% of your push-off force goes through the great toe. And if you cannot push off, what is it? Okay. I did a podcast with Solomon Wilcox, I believe a Bengals podcast.
Big Bengals podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. And he does a great job, obviously. And I'm going to show you right here what I showed him, which is, here's a picture of a turf. Hopefully it'll show up. It's washed out.
You gotta go backwards. You go backwards. Yeah. It's hard. Yeah.
The light isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe on editing, our guy Alex will
throw in something in there for you. Yeah.
And to give you a graphic of what the turf toe is. Basically, as the toe bends up, it only goes up so far, and it just gets pushed too far up that it tears the bottom plantar plate.
Okay.
And then our video shows that. And you need surgery to fix it. And if you don't have push off, if you lose 60 or more % of your push off on your foot, how can you run and move and play football? Okay. So let me tell you about the 3-month timeline, and then we'll talk about blame on the Bengals.
I have a couple questions for you. Yeah. Follow-ups. Yeah.
But timeline. I agree with everything being reported by Schefter and Rap Sheet or whatever. Minimum 3 months. Operative word. No pun intended. Yes, he is getting an operation, is minimum. I can tell you this point blank. If this were Jamar Chase, season over, end of story, not even close. Look at Malik Neighbors in his recovery. Look at the DB in Arizona with his turf toe.
Will Johnson.
I mean, they were last football season injuries that we were still talking about at the beginning of this season.
Lingering, yes.
Over 6 months. Difference is quarterback and difference is front foot. That's what leaves the door slightly ajar, but realistically, it's minimum 3 months. I'll make a statement that I'm not meaning to scare Bengals fans with. I was more confident that Aaron Rodgers could return from Achilles late season than I am Joe Burrow can late season or playoffs from this turf toe surgery. So essentially I'm saying, look, I don't want to be negative Nancy and say no way, but So
can I say something? If you're comparing the two situations, will we see Burrow on the sidelines like we did Rodgers to kind of like get people going a little bit? Remember Rodgers kind of showed up on the sidelines December, and maybe as we come back, and then the Jets season kind of took a little sour turn.
Not for 6 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah.
I mean,
but just to give people maybe a false sense of hope, I remember when you did the Lions fan. Remember when you did Aiden Hutchinson? You're like, he will not return even if they go to the Super Bowl.
Aiden Hutchinson was 100% bet the house, bet the life
that's
savings.
What I'm saying. Yeah.
Because it's Joe Burrow's front foot is the only reason I'm saying there's a sliver of hope. But 3 months is not
like Bengals
realistic.
Super Bowl. He could be there. Or you want to just eliminate that entirely? I'm sorry.
Let's just get over surgery. Let's just set expectations with it. I mean, you're forgetting that there's the factor that the Bengals have to still be in it.
Correct.
With Browning.
Yes.
Maybe they can be.
I have some, Browning's. Yeah, he's decent. He's in 2023, he had 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, over 100 QB rating. He can do it. But here's the thing, Doc, we need to talk about the offensive line. The offensive line had no left guard, no right guard. There was a point in time last game with no right tackle as well. That's going to continue, right? Even with Browning in there. And then also you saw blame, ownership and so forth. They barely invested in Trey Anderson, who led the league in sacks for a couple of years. Will they invest in O-line?
Well, okay, but I understand they used 2 draft picks.
Mims was one of them, correct?
Okay,
yes,
2 top draft picks, first round draft picks on the O-line.
Yes,
they are down their starting left guard and right guard. So I don't know if you're going to blame Bengals ownership.
Don't want to, but yeah,
and I'm not blaming them.
Right.
I think there's more blame to be had for the fact that it was a turf toe on a turf field.
Is that why they call it turf toe?
That is why they call it a turf toe.
All right.
You're more likely to get stuck. There isn't the give on grass.
Okay.
And that's why the name started turf toe. And if you're going to blame ownership or management or whatever, and I'm not saying you should, I would say there's more blame than, look, they invested 2 first-round draft picks on the O-line, and there were guards that were hurt. Okay, you can blame them for not drafting the right guys or
that's
signing
a different
guys
story,
hurt,
though. Yeah.
But in terms of investing,
they did.
The grass field
yeah.
versus turf might be a bigger factor.
Okay.
Would I say that Joe Burrow would have escaped not having a turf toe? Maybe not, but maybe it's a grade 2 moderate and no surgery, right? Okay. So the turf toe is because of artificial turf. That's where it came from. So that's that. The other thing I'd say, and once again, this is not at all a criticism. You want your athletes laying it out on the line and doing everything you can. And this is where I'm saying, don't give me Joe Burrow's injury prone. He plays hard. He leaves it on the line. And all his injuries are different body parts, different places.
Knee injury. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, like
toe,
you said.
You know, even appendectomy. Okay, you know, whatever.
All different.
All different. It's not the same hamstring injury over and over again.
Right.
And we talked about this on the podcast earlier this preseason. Joe Burrow normally doesn't play in the preseason. He played this preseason for the first time, really, in his career. And you guys remember the 2 plays where he ran around?
He went backwards.
Backwards. It was like whoop, 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 extending plays and going crazy. And I was like, dude, just get rid of the ball and go down. This is the preseason. Don't risk injury, right? And of course, this is why every head coach says, get down, get down. It's not worth it, right? He did that in the preseason.
You said Rivers is really good at that, right? Just going down. You mentioned that, yeah. Or when you need to.
Wait. I love my guy, Phillip Rivers, who has the longest starting streak,
Iron Man.
Yep. Okay. But let me tell you why that is. And this, number one, he's tough as nails. He's had injuries. Look at the turf toe. We've talked about the epidural steroid injection.
Yep.
He played through the ACL and the knee and that. He's played through injuries and he's tough as nails. So is Matthew Stafford. And I'm not begrudging Joe Burrow. I just don't know him. Okay. Number one, Phillip Rivers will play through anything. He's tough as nails.
Yes.
Number two, he's not mobile and he knows it.
He doesn't try to get out of the pocket. Yes. Yeah.
That's number two. And because of that, what does he do? He gets rid of the ball or he goes down. Joe Burrow, when he had his turf toe injury, go back and look at our video. He was basically horizontal to the ground and all but down, but he was never say die. Tom Brady would say, see you next play.
What would Mahomes do?
Mahomes would be Superman launching in the air horizontal and completing a pass. But let me get that a little bit here. I wasn't taking a shot at Tom Brady.
No.
Tom Brady's a GOAT. I'm saying he would go down and live to fight another day because he's not one of the more athletic guys. Phillip Rivers would throw the ball away or get down.
Peyton Manning went down.
Peyton Manning would go down.
Right.
And that's what gives you more longevity. Joe Burrow wanted to fight. If you look at Aaron Rodgers' Achilles, he was all but down. He didn't go down. He tried to push Leonard Floyd off of him when he was on his back and he ruptured his Achilles. Joe Burrow go look at the video. He's almost down horizontal, barely keeping one knee up. And let me push with my left foot. And he got the turf toe and it got stuck. So I'm not begrudging his athleticism. He's a way different and better athlete. Sorry, Philip. Than you were.
He admit it, yeah.
But that's what also leads to the injuries. You're taking the double black diamond runs as opposed to saying, no, I'm going to just take the blue run down instead of, which is throw the ball away or get down. He's taking the double black diamond run. And let me just cross sports a little bit. What happened when, and it's been documented a little bit, when all of a sudden the attention was off Barry Bonds and it was on Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa for hitting all those home runs?
Save baseball.
And what did Barry Bonds say? F that.
He's like, I'm going to keep going. He's like, I'm going to keep going. Yeah, he's like, what are they doing?
What are they, they're getting all the attention, right? Yep. Why do I say that? The most memorable play of the year so far, in some ways, is Patrick Mahomes horizontal to the ground, 1 inch off the ground, completing a pass. You don't think the other boys see that?
They all want to do it, yeah,
and say, look, if he can do it, I can do it too, kind of thing. I'm not saying I'm just saying you can't fault Joe Burrow for his effort, but it's his effort to extend plays that gets him injured. That's all I'm saying.
Remember Tua, when he got a concussion, he was diving. I know he's trying to get the first down on 4th, remember, in the red zone. Anthony Richardson, we've always had issues with him. He's a great runner outside the pocket, but it's led to injuries. And that's just the way of the world.
You're taking more
right?
double black diamond runs.
Right.
Are we surprised there's more injuries when that happens versus the blue run? I mean, skiing, I'm just using that as an analogy, but that's what factors into it. But it's hard to, I'm not faulting Joe Burrow for it. I'm sure
that's what makes him good. Right?
I'm saying Bengals fans should praise him for it, but that's actually, so don't call him injury prone. Say he's a gamer and he's trying to play through. But if he just goes down, he doesn't get that injury. If turf, maybe it's less of an injury. Yes, if they drafted better, I don't want to say they didn't expend capital.
It's just they spent capital and it didn't work. They didn't invest, like you said. Yeah, they did not. So,
or maybe invest the right way.
Yeah. I
don't know.
Yeah.
So once again, not a criticism with anyone in Cincinnati or especially Joe Burrow.
Yeah. I have a question from YouTube question, Doc, before we wrap this up. Do you, two actually, first on Bowers, do you think if he does play tonight, there's a re-injury risk?
Only if he falls on it the same way. It's more of an ineffectiveness risk.
Okay.
Let's put it this way. If he plays.
Yes. Yeah. We're already leaning it. Yeah, I know. Big one.
He's playing with a brace.
So he's not even going to
be that don't like
they hate that. They want to take it off after. Yeah. So,
okay. And then I'd be surprised if he didn't play with a brace. Surprised / shocked.
Last question. Do you think Kittle, if he comes back at the 4 weeks, do you think or is it a longer stay? Sorry, I read that wrong. Like if they think it's at a mild strain, he would be 4 games minimum, or do you think it's a longer stay on IL?
It's hard for me to judge the severity of a hamstring strain as they pull up. It depends on the MRI. And it also depends on when he comes back. Are they 5 or when he's on the cusp of coming back?
Right.
Are they 5-0 and the tight end's playing well? Or are they 2-3 and really need his input? Look, I've been there in the rooms as you make decisions. And I've literally said to head coaches and GMs, why can't this guy play this week? He can, but he's 85%. Well, that's good enough for me. He's better. Okay, as long as you accept the risk of re-aggravation, where if we waited another week or 2, the risk of re-aggravation drops. Yes, he's 85% today, but do you want TJ Edwards? Do you want Jaylon Johnson? Right? So it's a calculation return to play. There's a certain threshold where you say you just cannot play, but then there is a threshold when you say there's no worries and you're completely safe. But there's sort of a middle ground where you could play and get through a game and help the team, but there is some aggravation risk. Now, I don't know what the 49ers, Kittle's risk tolerance is always let's go.
You can cross-board to Tyrese Halliburton. Every time I think about that risk rewarded, that was the most risk reward possible. It's a finals, game and 1%.
Tyrese Halliburton said what we said. We were the first to say Achilles tendonitis, potential rupture. Tyrese Halliburton said he would make the same decision again,
He
knew there was a small chance of rupture, but this is the NBA Finals. He knew there was a chance he missed next season, but this is the NBA Finals. I'm doing this, right? And he got away with it for a while and did very, very well.
Yeah.
And he doesn't regret the decision. I get it. This is what athletes do, and I have mad respect for them over this. So it depends a little bit on that background information related to Kittle.
Last one, just to wrap it up, Doc, real quick. Fowler released Kyle Van Noy hamstring, big pass rush for the Ravens, multiple weeks with hamstring injury. Okay, so that's the last update I have so far. Okay.
All right. So this is a recap pod right now. We'll keep going. The player edge did very well. With some key.
Darnold, Smith-Njigba, under both overs on those, and then under on Chase Brown due to the all line issues that you talked about.
The best one might have been what we thought about Atlanta, Minnesota, and Bijan, right? I mean, with Van Ginkel and Cashman.
St. Brown as well. I think Bijan and St. Brown had.
St. Brown hit his in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And that all comes from the player edge. It's not the player's health. It's the health of the defenders, health of your O-line, et cetera. So check out Player's Edge, and it's free.
And we have props tonight as well. So go to six picks and six score.
SICscore.com. All right. Thank you. Got to run. Got patience. Thank you.